And their three-point shooting has paved the way for them. Right back after this break.
It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Welcome back, everybody. It's the Halftime Show on 2K Sports. Ernie Johnson here with Kenny the Jet Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. The game plan did not work out for Orlando in the first quarter. It didn't appear that their energy level was anywhere near as high as it needed to be, and the period ended with them in a 10-point hole. The surge they made in the second quarter was almost hard to believe. I mean, this was a team that instantly became unstoppable and now on the verge of a blowout. What did you think, Kenny, about what we saw from the Magic?
Well, we can't look past the huge contribution their bench has provided. They've got this lead mainly because of the injection of energy and offense that they got from their reserves. That's what a coach wants to see. I'm guessing the minutes will be spread out a little bit in the second half.
How about you, Shaq? What did you think about Indiana?
Well, with the way they struggled to defend the three-point line, it started to look like warm-up drills. They cannot be afraid to bring more defenders out high. They got to make life tougher on those outside shooters.
That'll do it for now. The second half of action coming right up.
The 9-point lead to end the quarter. They're pounding the ball inside, and that's where they've gotten their best production tonight. Back to the action after this word. And now let's present our Jordan Player of the Game, Nikola Vucevic.
And guys, it's been a rugged brand of defense he's played. I don't know why they keep taking the ball at him. It seems like every time they have, he's come up with the rejection. And with every block, he's only gotten more and more fired up.
Wraps it up for Greg Anthony, Doris Burke, and David Aldridge, and the rest of our terrific crew. This is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for watching. So long, everyone.
Not like it was nothing. Just another day at the office.
An incredible turn of events. It is bedlam here in the arena.
And so it's the Cleveland Cavaliers with a 6-point lead at the end of the quarter. They've done a lot of great work from long range. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back the second half momentarily.
It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
The first half in the books. This is Ernie Johnson. This is Shaquille O'Neal. This is Ken Smith. Welcome back.
Ken,
as we break down the action. Philadelphia finds themselves ahead after 2 quarters. They lead by 1. Kenny, some perspective, please.
Well, one place they had the edge was on the offensive boards. They converted those extra possessions into points. Nothing is more demoralizing to a defense than forcing a miss and then giving up a second attempt. The offensive glass is going to pay big dividends for them.
Looking at Cleveland, Shaq, your thoughts.
The thing I like is their aggressive approach and getting to the line. You know, when things seem to stagnate on offense, it's sometimes a matter of forcing your will. This team can generate a lot of points and also dictate the pace of the game if they play with that aggressiveness.
And we're just about ready for the start of the third quarter. Kevin Harlan standing by. We'll see you.
Sixers on top, up 1. And right after this, we'll bring you the start of the final quarter right here on 2K Sports. Now we've got a moment for our Jordan Player of the Game, LeBron James.
He deserves a lot of credit, but the D they played on him deserves a little bit of the blame as well. Even when he got hot, they didn't do enough, I don't think, to try and cool him off. And They've been passive when they've needed to be aggressive, and boy, did he make them pay.
It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
Pistons lead by 2. And we'll be back in just a moment with the start of the second quarter.
The 2K Sports halftime show.
And an exciting first half indeed. Welcome back. I'm Ernie Johnson alongside Kenny, the Jet, Smith, and Shaq, the Eel, O'Neal. It was a closely contested first quarter for Detroit. During one stretch, they trailed by 7, never falling behind too far. The second quarter was dead even in terms of their scoring output from both teams, and they still find themselves in a good position at the half. Kenny, what's your take on Detroit so far?
Well, there was a big spark from the bench in the first half. Sometimes you're hoping for your reserves to come in and just hold court, but they didn't do that. They actually got better.
And Shaq, your thoughts on the Celtics?
What impressed me the most was the effort they put into the offensive glass. The second chance points really added up for them. Fighting through box outs, battling for position, they owned the offensive boards.
And that will wrap up our halftime report, as it's just about time for the start of the second half.
The final quarter is coming up next on 2K Sports.
It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
Don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be back in just a moment.
And now, the 2K Sports halftime show.
Ernie Johnson here. Got Shaq, got Kenny the Jet Smith. We welcome you back to the halftime show on 2K Sports. New York holding the upper hand after the first 2 quarters. They have a solid 8-point lead. And Shaq, what are your thoughts on New York?
Well, they've been playing with some toughness, and it's led to a nice lead for them, not just on the scoreboard, but in the rebounding numbers. And now they need to stay mean, Ernie. Cannot lose that edge in the second half.
And Kenny, what did you see from Portland?
It looked like they were shooting threes blindfolded. Sometimes you could get cold, but that was atrocious. It was scary. But they also looked scattered out there, and I think that disorganization was the main issue for them missing those shots. They need to establish themselves better into a better rhythm in the second half and avoid relying so heavily on the three-point shot.
That's it for halftime, as the second half is just about to get underway.
Wrap up the quarter. They've had active hands and have forced a lot of turnovers in this one. We come back right after this.
It up.
And now we've got a moment for our Jordan Player of the Game, Damian Lillard.
And guys, no doubt who our pick was going to be. He's made everyone else on the court look like they're playing at half speed. It's been total domination, and you can't help but just sit back and admire that performance.
And as the star of this team, he knows he's going to be the object of the crowd's anger. Thank you for joining us. That'll do it for now. For Greg Anthony, Doris Burke, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for watching. See you later. Was a true standout at the offensive end, both with his scoring and his passing. Back right after this.
And now, the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hey, everybody. Ernie Johnson, joined by Kenny the Jet Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. Welcome to the NBA Halftime Show on 2K Sports.
Been working out.
Houston was looking great right away. They staged a good old-fashioned ambush, going on an aggressive 9-0 run at the start. Once they got on the scoreboard, they were relentless at staying out in front, never once letting the lead change hands. And into the second quarter, momentum started to shift slightly as they gave up some of that lead, ending the half up 3. Kenny, what'd you think about the Rockets?
Well, I thought that turning point was when the bench came in. Those guys really hustled, and they gave the team some energy, and then they started to score baskets. That was a bonus.
And over to the big fella, your thoughts on the Nets?
They played some solid team basketball, Ernie. Pretty good. They were sharing the ball. We saw some nice feeds, a lot of movement. It wasn't 5 individuals out there. It was one cohesive unit, and they got the assist to show for it. Their rhythm was nice.
And we're just about ready for the start of the third quarter. Kevin Harlan standing by. We'll see you.
Reach the end of 3. Rockets lead by 3. We'll be back shortly live from Houston, Texas.
It's going to be interesting to see what they draw up to get this quick shot.
Whatever it is, got to be fast. I mean, can't waste any time at this point.
And now we get the chance to present our Jordan Player of the Game, Jahlil Okafor.
And he's provided them with a major mismatch on that low block tonight. That they've been able to lean on his scoring in the paint. And if nothing else has worked, he's given them a reliable option
This
on
is
every
Kevin Harlan.
possession.
Thanks for watching the NBA on 2K Sports. See you next time.
In their arsenal.
And so it's the San Antonio Spurs in the driver's seat, up 8 points at the end of the quarter. And they've done a phenomenal job down low, so many of their points coming right at the rim. Back right after this.
It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
And we hope you enjoyed the competitive first half of action. Ernie Johnson here welcoming you back to the 2K Sports Halftime Show. That guy right there is Shaquille O'Neal, and that guy right there is Kenny the Jet Smith. Harrison Barnes led the way in the first half. He had 12 points and 3 assists. And Kenny, what are your thoughts on how Dallas played?
Well, their success was largely about second chance points. They crashed the offensive boards heavy in the first half. I love how they fight for every 50-50 ball like it's the last ball on earth.
Shaq, let's get your thoughts on San Antonio.
You know, they didn't play it too safe. They made some really nice shots. Those are some much-needed points, and it keeps them right in the game. As long as they stay on the same page and keep working together, they got a great chance to take control of this game.
That's it for now as the second half's just about ready to go.
Any better than that.
Yeah, I agree. Shot clock doing its thing. He times it out perfectly.
We're at the end of the third, and we've still got a close one. Mavericks lead by 3. And coming up as soon as
we'll see what adjustments they make coming out of this timeout.
A chance now to recognize our Jordan Player of the Game, Dirk Nowitzki.
And his shooting percentage reflects just how efficient he's been. It's better than 50%, always a sign of a solid offensive performance. But his movement and his shot selection have also both been tremendous.
On the road, in a tough atmosphere, he's taken on the role of star tonight. If one of their other players came up short, he picked up the slack to make sure they'll be walking out of here with a win. Smith, Greg Anthony, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan thanking you for being with us. We'll see you next time.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
After one half of play, it's been a one-sided affair. Hey, everybody, welcome back. This is Ernie Johnson alongside Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith. So it's Golden State who's out on top at the half. They are in control of this game, up by 18. Kenny, what's your take?
Well, we have to talk about the unbelievable job they've done rebounding the basketball. They've sent bodies flying to the boards on every possession. They've been a stronger, quicker, tougher team by a wide margin. And it's that dominance on the glass that's going to win them this game.
Shaq, how do you think Sacramento played?
Way too soft in the paint defensively. They were all late on their rotations. Obviously, that's a recipe for getting cooked. And you know I like eating that barbecue chicken. They got to do better, Ernie.
And that will wrap up our halftime report, as it's just about time for the start of the second half.
Ahead, 16 points. They've kept the tempo quick and the defense on its heels, and it's gotten them up big. Right back after this break. No. There are a lot of great superstars in the NBA, Brent, but when you're talking about the most dangerous scorer in the league, I still think you've got to include Steph Curry in that conversation. He just does things that nobody else can do.
Well, nobody else in the league can do, and really nobody else in the history of the league has done. You think about Steph Curry in transition pulling up from 30 feet, and we really don't even bat an eye, and we expected the balls going in every time. What a transcendent player.
For our broadcast, for Brett Berry, Greg Anthony, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan along with our 2K Sports crew. We'll see you next time. Have a great evening.
Scoring-wise, keeping everybody on their toes.
A good close contest so far as we finish the first quarter. Clippers lead by 1. And we'll get the second quarter underway on the other side of this break.
And now, the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Welcome back, folks. Ernie Johnson here along with Kenny the Jet Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. We're going to break down all the action from the first half. Some incredible work in this one by Blake Griffin. He ended up with 28 points, 9 rebounds, and 2 blocks. Multiple times we saw the bench cheering him on in the first 2 quarters of this one. And let us get your thoughts, big fella, on the Clippers.
Well, what's really shifted the game in their favor has been their rebounding. They got a good edge on the boards, and that's a product of their hard work. All 5 guys been battling, putting everything they have to fight on the glass. That needs to remain the focus for 2 more quarters if they want to hang on to that lead.
And over to Kenny, your takeaway on the Lakers.
It looked like they were shooting threes blindfolded. Sometimes you could get cold, but that was atrocious. It was scary. But they also looked scattered out there, and I think that disorganization was the main issue for them missing those shots. They need to establish themselves better into a better rhythm in the second half and avoid relying so heavily on the three-point shot.
And that's all we can do for now. As the second half begins, we get you back to Kevin Harlan.
They've set the tone. They love their tempo. They're going to be very tough to stop. We come back right after this. The key here, guys, was second chance points.
They pounded the offensive glass and won the scrambles for loose balls, giving them plenty of added opportunity.
And they took charge when it counted, and they'll be notching their 9th win overall.
And with this win now, we're all square, 1-1. 2 more games yet to come in what's proving to be a very
And that's going to do it tonight, folks, for our broadcast. For Greg Anthony, Chris Webber, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan thanking you for watching the NBA, presented by 2K Sports. We'll see you next time.